Hi there, and welcome to the Celeb Tea. They shine the moment they appear on our screens, poised, polished, and seemingly perfect. With their warm smiles, impeccable manners, and friendly charm, these women easily become the audience's favorites. They laugh contagiously, speak with grace, and exude a kind of comfort that feels familiar, almost trustworthy. At the beginning of every new season, the nice housewife stands out as the emotional anchor of the cast, the woman who listens, mediates, and brings everyone together. But reality television, at its core, is an unforgiving mirror. It reflects not only the best parts of a person, but also the cracks beneath the surface. And sometimes, that reflection shatters completely. This piece follows the fascinating and often heartbreaking transformations of reality TV's most beloved housewives. The women once adored for their compassion and kindness who eventually found themselves branded as villains. Their stories highlight the fragile balance between fame, trust, and public perception. These are the women who blurred the line between misstep and malice, whose reputations transformed under the relentless spotlight of reality television. Phaedra Parks. From beloved to blamed. Phaedra Parks entered the Real Housewives of Atlanta with an irresistible blend of wit and Southern sophistication. Her charm was effortless, her intelligence undeniable. Quick with a clever remark and armed with a warm smile, she gave off the impression of a grounded, confident woman who could balance humor, motherhood, and a demanding career as an attorney. Early on, she stood out as one of the franchise's most composed figures, a woman with grace under pressure and a knack for bringing levity to even the most chaotic moments. But as the seasons progressed, the warmth that once defined her image began to erode. The tension between her polished public persona and the high-stakes drama of reality television started to show. At one particularly uncomfortable dinner, a question surfaced. Something about who had spread a damaging rumor and whether one castmate had called another a lesbian. The tone of the conversation shifted from awkward to explosive as insinuations and denials flew back and forth. What followed would mark the beginning of Phaedra's unraveling on-screen image. The real breaking point wasn't a single argument, though. It was the aftermath of a betrayal. Phaedra was accused of spreading a deeply personal and untrue rumor about another cast member, a claim that struck at the heart of someone's private life. The allegation wasn't about gossip. It was about trust, empathy, and the weaponization of personal information. For viewers who had once admired Phaedra for her grace and professionalism, the incident felt like a shocking betrayal. The fallout was swift and brutal. Cast dynamics fractured. Long-standing friendships collapsed. Fans who had once championed her began to question whether her charm had all been an act. Even her attempts to explain herself, whether through apologies or clarifications, seemed to only deepen the divide. To some, she sounded defensive. To others, she appeared remorseful, but too late to repair the damage. Phaedra's downfall became a powerful example of how fragile reputations can be in the reality TV world. A single moment of poor judgment, or even the perception of betrayal, can undo years of goodwill. In her case, the shift from beloved friend to outcast wasn't about cruelty, but about the public sense of betrayal. The very qualities that made her relatable, her warmth, her empathy, made her downfall even harder for fans to digest. Her story became a cautionary tale of how kindness, once weaponized or misunderstood, can collapse under the weight of fame and rumor. Teresa Giudice, the fall of the family woman. Teresa Giudice's early seasons on The Real Housewives of New Jersey painted a portrait of a lively, passionate woman whose world revolved around her family. She was fiery but lovable, the quintessential Italian mother who juggled 4 daughters, an energetic husband, and endless family dinners. Her temper could flare, sure, but her devotion to her home life made her seem real, relatable, and deeply rooted in traditional values. Then, everything changed. Teresa's story took a sharp turn from family drama to federal courtroom headlines. As the seasons went on, viewers watched as news broke of her and her husband's financial crimes, bank fraud, bankruptcy misrepresentation, and tax evasion. Suddenly, the woman once celebrated for her homemaking and loyalty was being photographed walking into courtrooms instead of kitchens. In one emotional court appearance, Teresa stood before a judge and read a statement filled with remorse. "I am scared," she said. "I'm a mother and a wife, but I am humbled today. I accept responsibility for my actions." For fans who would come to see her as a symbol of resilience and family devotion, the moment was heartbreaking. Her downfall wasn't sparked by betrayal or gossip like Phaedra's. It was about contradiction. The same woman who embodied hard work, family unity, and moral strength was now being associated with deceit and corruption. Viewers had to reconcile the image of the loving mother from RHNJ with the public records that told a very different story. The dissonance was jarring. Teresa's sentence, her time away from her children, and the public scrutiny that followed permanently changed how audiences saw her. The chaos that once seemed charmingly over the top now carried consequences, legal, emotional, and personal. Her identity as a nice housewife was replaced by something far more complex, a woman trying to rebuild her life after public disgrace. Erika Jayne, the glamour that cracked. Erika Jayne's rise on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills was unlike any other. She wasn't the sweet, nurturing archetype. She was magnetic, glamorous, and unapologetically bold. From the moment she joined the cast, Erika embodied opulence and confidence. Her alter ego, a sultry, commanding pop performer, added an extra layer of intrigue. She was fiercely loyal to her friends and always seemed in control, giving viewers the impression that she lived in a world where nothing could shake her. But the illusion of perfection began to fade when allegations against her then-husband, Tom Girardi, came to light. What started as whispers of financial trouble quickly escalated into headlines about fraud, embezzlement, and legal misconduct. The lawsuits accused Tom of stealing settlement money from plane crash victims, funds meant for grieving families. Suddenly, Erika's lavish lifestyle became a symbol of moral unease. Viewers questioned whether her glamorous image had been funded by tragedy. Though Erika denied any involvement, the optics were impossible to ignore. The diamond-studded earrings, private jets, and designer wardrobes that once represented her independence now looked like evidence of excess built on someone else's pain. On camera, Erika's demeanor hardened. Her trademark confidence often came across as coldness, especially when fellow castmates questioned her about the lawsuits. What fans once perceived as strength and poise began to feel like emotional detachment. The shift was monumental. Erika didn't become a villain through deceit or manipulation. Her fall was shaped by perception and circumstance. The legal storm surrounding her blurred the line between guilt and association, leaving her public image fractured. To some, she remained a woman unfairly caught in her husband's web. To others, she symbolized the dangers of wealth unchecked by empathy. The fragility of nice in reality TV. Across these stories, Phaedra's betrayal, Teresa's legal downfall, Erika's scandal, a common truth emerges. Being the nice housewife is never permanent. Reality television thrives on transformation. The same qualities that win hearts in the beginning outrage in an instant. Each of these women started as symbols of strength and sincerity, yet as cameras rolled and real-life consequences seeped in, they became reminders that no persona, no matter how polished, can remain untouched by fame's scrutiny. In the end, their stories reveal not just the volatility of reality television, but the very human truth that image and identity can never fully coexist once the world is watching.